Hello, what's up YouTube? Ronnix with an outro, and in this tutorial I want to show you an easy way of how to clean your studio backdrops or how to clean your studio backgrounds or whichever name you may call it in Photoshop. So I'm using Photoshop 2020 and I want to show you how you can easily identify those folds and wrinkles and any single dot or particle within your studio backdrops and how you can easily eliminate them and make it a smooth and very clean and seamless backdrop. So without further ado, let's just get started with this tutorial. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to the background and I'm just going to duplicate it by hitting Ctrl or Command J on the keyboard. So hit Ctrl Command J, or you can simply drag and drop right here to create a new layer. So it is on this layer that is or where I'm going to be retouching or cleaning up the studio backdrop. So if at all you have been retouching and you want to clean up the studio backdrop after retouching, make sure to create a stamp visible layer by hitting Shift Alternate Command E on the keyboard or Shift Alternate Control E on the keyboard. And after doing that, we're just going to come right here and we're going to select our patch tool. So just want to eliminate these distractions from the backdrop. So I'm going to simply make sure it is on this mode right here, which is new selection. I'm just going to draw or left click and draw over this subject, and I'm going to drag it to a clean area to eliminate it. So I just want to eliminate the most prominent distractions from the image, just like that. So I'm just basically using the patch tool to draw and eliminate. So in some cases it may not be very easy to eliminate those distractions, but let's just try cleaning up those very big and prominent distractions from the backdrop. So let's just select them. So I'm basically drawing over those folds and left clicking to drag them to an area that seems a little bit cleaner. And right now you can see we have a clean job, but if at all you are cleaning up the backdrop and you are not seeing the folds quite well, here is a technique that you can use to identify and see those folds in the images quite better. So just come to the adjustments and just come and create a black and white adjustment layer. So right now the image looks fine still, but when you come to the red channel and you simply left click and darken it, you can now see every single dark particle in the image. So you can as well darken the yellows to see those wrinkles even better. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So this is going to be like a check or help layer. So I'm just going to come to the layer 1 and make sure it is selected. Then simply come to the brushes and right click and get the mixer brush tool. So for newer versions of Photoshop, you're going to be finding your mixer brush tool right here under the brushes, and for older versions of Photoshop you may be able to find your mixer brush tool right below in this option right here. So you have to use these settings because I prefer to use these settings and they give me the most perfect results when I'm trying to clean up studio backdrops. So I come to the settings and I make sure the hardness is at 0, meaning it is a soft mixer brush, and make sure it is a clean brush right here, and I make sure clean the brush after each and every stroke has been selected right here, and I use a weight of 9%, the load of 75, mix at 90 in the floor 100%. So I make sure I don't sample all layers. So I make sure I don't check this option because I only want to work on this layer that I'm going to be cleaning right here. So make sure this is selected, and simply, in order to increase on the size of your mixer brush tool, use the open and close brackets on the keyboard to decrease or increase on the size of mixer brush tool. And in order to use this better, you can now paint just on the backdrops. So just paint slowly as you're looking at the image. So sometimes it may take a couple of seconds trying to fill up and clean that area. You can see my Photoshop gets to lag a little bit as I'm doing this. So you have to be patient sometimes when it is trying to have all create that effect on the image. So I'm just going to reduce on the size and I clean up the image just like that, and you can see it is doing a very nice and wonderful job. But sometimes you can see we have these wrinkles that are moving from left to right in this image. So in order to eliminate them even better, you can come and move your mixer brush tool in the opposite direction of the wrinkles. For example, these wrinkles are moving from left to right, meaning I have to left click and move my mixer brush tool in the opposite direction, which is the up and down kind of movement, to try and clean up or eliminate those wrinkles or folds from the studio backdrop. You can see it is doing a very nice and perfect job trying to clean up or eliminate these wrinkles or folds. But as you're doing this, make sure you keep away from the subject, and if at all you want paint on the subject, make sure you make your mixer brush tool a little bit smaller and just paint close to a subject to clean the area that is close to your subject. And for areas that are far, we can use any size of the mixer brush tool and you paint over that area. And you can see the bigger the mixer brush tool, the more lagging your Photoshop may be sometimes. So you have to take that into consideration as you're trying to clean up your studio backdrop. So I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to zoom in right here. You can see how dirty this area is. So I'm just going to come and paint through and reduce on the size, and you can see we have these lines, and like I said, like the folds that were moving from left to right, when it comes to the lines, make sure you move your mixer brush tool in the direction that is opposite to the lines in the backdrop. So just come and eliminate this duct tape or seal tape that is right here. So I'm just going to increase on the size and paint right in this area. You can see in some areas it is not really perfect, but when you turn off the black and white layer, you're going to see the magic happen. So I'm just going to come and I just briefly turn off this and just look at what we have right now. Just look at what we had before. Just going to come right here. And I'm going to show you what we had before and after, before, after. Just look at how clean the areas I've been able to clean are looking in this very image. So I'm just going to come and turn this on and activate my black and white layer and continue doing the cleanup process. For example, in this box, whatever it is. So I'm just going to come and continue cleaning up this. So let me just reduce on the size and work on even a smaller area using the mixer brush tool, and you can see it does a pretty nice and perfect job. But we wouldn't have seen all these quite well if at all we had or we didn't have a black and white OHL player. So it helps or guides us and shows us the areas that have those wrinkles even better. So it is more like a microscope or a magnifying glass for those dirty areas in the image. So I would recommend that you learn to use the black and white layer in order to see every imperfection within the images. So let me just try and clean up this, and you can use whichever tool you want to remove any spots within your images. So I'm just going to clean up this quick, and you're going to see the results we have for this very all specific image. So let me just try zooming in a little bit more, and I clean up on this area because it looks a little bit weird. So I'm just going to come and using the mixer brush tool, I'm just going to paint on that area, and you can see it has really done a very nice and perfect job. But in order to clean up better, make sure you zoom in and out to see various levels of areas you can be able to clean up in your images. So basically this is more of a complete guide on how you can easily clean up your studio backdrops within Photoshop. So let me just come and clean up these areas like I said, you have to zoom in if at all you feel like you want to work on a tiny or smaller area to get the best out of your images. So I'm just going to come and work on these areas just like that. And you can see it is doing a pretty nice job trying to clean up or eliminate those imperfections. So just going to zoom out and I turn off the black and white layers. So just look at what we have right now. So if at all you feel like you have missed out on some areas, for example, right here you can just come and paint that area in and you can see what we have right now. So this is an easy way of how to identify those folds or folds in your studio backdrops and how you can easily clean them up within Photoshop. So basically this is the before, after. So you can go ahead and select the black and white layer and simply delete it because you no longer need it after cleaning up the studio backdrop. So basically this is all for this tutorial. And if at all you have loved this, don't forget to like this video so that YouTube can push and recommend this to so many people out there. Ronnix from Ronnix Photography. Thank you for watching and see you in yet more amazing tutorials. And don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.